covering Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, and Midland. This is ABC 12 News at 6.
They're not the police, but they're helping them catch alleged child predators. And tonight, we see how one of these anti-predator groups pulled it off. It was last night we told you about the arrest of a Saginaw County man who thought he was going to meet underage girls for sexual activity. He was, in fact, chatting with people who are looking to catch child predators. Terry, so how does one start that conversation? The Genesee County Sheriff's Office has launched a new initiative to fight human trafficking that includes an element for the general public. People who take part in the Go Certified program can learn about how to look for signs of human trafficking and what to do if they spot a potential case of abuse. Participants can go online and go through a study guide. Once they complete that, they can take an online test to become certified. The program does not encourage people to confront potential human traffickers directly. One home was badly damaged in a Saginaw Township house fire earlier today. It happened around 10:30 at home on David Street. The family who lives here was not home and there were no injuries. Two nearby houses also suffered slight damage from exposure to the flames. It's not clear how the fire started, but a neighbor says he believed it began in the garage area. Neighbors sprung into action to make sure there was no one inside the house and that others nearby were okay.
The neighbors really worked well together. They just came out. We don't normally talk to one another, but in a crisis situation, everybody kind of gathered around and made sure everybody was okay and accounted for.
After the fire was put out, those same neighbors were collecting money to help the family whose home was damaged. Fire Chief Chris Van Loo says they are investigating to determine the cause for the fire. It felt like a full-on summer across mid-Michigan today, and it will continue. JR is here with a first look at what we can expect as we get closer to the weekend. New at 6, the case against Genesee County Clerk John Gleason will be heard in another county. Last month, Gleason was charged with bribing or intimidating a witness and willful neglect of duty. Prosecutors say the charges are a result of a wedding ceremony he performed in Schweigh County without a license. Investigators say after the ceremony, Gleason pressured workers in his office to backdate the paperwork. Several Genesee County judges disqualified themselves from the case, so the case has been assigned to a judge in Livingston County. Saginaw police are investigating the death of a 7-month-old baby. Police say the parents of the little boy called 911 around 7:30 this morning, saying their baby was not breathing. Emergency responders arrived at the home on 22nd Street near Lapeer, and the child was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators do not suspect foul play at this time, but an autopsy will be done to determine the cause of death. Gun homicides reached a 25-year high during the first year of the pandemic. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, gun homicides were up overall 35%. But among young youth and young adults ages 10 to 24, it was up 40%. And black males in that age group saw the biggest spike. And the CDC says rates of gun homicides involving black males aged 10 to 24 years were already 21 times as high as white males of the same age. Our Dow Jones is here now with more on the causes and the possible solution. Dawn? A former president at the University of Michigan who was fired over a relationship with a subordinate has apologized to the school's governing board. It's part of a settlement between the university and Mark Schlissel. The deal guarantees him a faculty job, retiree health insurance, and other benefits. But it first starts with a 1-year leave and a $463,000. The Board of Regents fired Schlissel in January, saying his interactions with a female employee were inconsistent with promoting the dignity and reputation of the University of Michigan. We're getting a first look at what a major project in downtown Detroit could look like when completed. Dan Gilbert's company Bedrock has released renderings of what the Hudson's project will look like. Construction began on the site of the old Hudson's department store back in 2017. It calls for 2 buildings, a skyscraper with luxury condos, a hotel, and a second space with office and retail space. This week, the city's council approved a variance to allow the construction to continue. This nice weather may inspire you to get outside for some yard work, and still to come, how people in Saginaw can recognize their neighbors who take the lawn to the next level. And later, how some Mid-Michigan health workers are helping families dealing with a baby formula shortage.
Covering Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, and Midland. You're watching ABC 12 Evening News at 6 with Angie Hendershot, Matt Franklin, and Chief Meteorologist J.R. Kurtek. ABC 12 News. First, in depth, everywhere.